What's up everyone, welcome to the Whirlwind, Death Devils, Earthquakes, and the boys build. No, not those boys, we got our own boys, our ancients. They're gonna be there for you, always covering your back and never letting you down. Unless you bug them out, because Blizzard doesn't fix the bug that's been since season 4. But alas, that's how things go, right? So first off, this build is really fun to play, and I'm gonna still be playing it. I'm still trying to max it out. I've been a bit, unlucky with Masterworks. I'm 90k down iron chunks on this. But yeah, it has been really fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. But without further ado, let's get into the gear, shall we? First of all, we're gonna be running Ugly Bastard for that juicy 80% multiplier, and something that's been really underrated, that fire damage proc. That's gonna be big. By the way, for those that are wondering, yes, you can use this without Wrath of the Berserker. The only thing that you need to use this is to be Berserking, which you can easily get. On our chest piece, we're going to be running Rage of Argath. This is what's going to be allowing us to get our cooldown super low and spawning up to 6 boys, even on single target. On AoE, things get crazy. You can have like 21 boys out. It's insane. For our by the way, you want at least a 56 roll here, okay? That's really important. For our gloves, it's gonna be Fits of Fate, of course. There's nothing better. We're gonna be masterworking the lucky hit chance here. You're gonna take it as high as you can. And another important thing is the effect. You can settle for like a 280, but don't go below that. If you get to 200 there, it's literally just about 280 or up ideally. For our Ariat's bearings, the most important thing here is going to be the aspect. You want this either maxed out or close to maxed out. This is what's going to allow us boys to pop off, right? So you can fill your boys, can you? So make sure to give them the proper tools for them to do their job. And, masterworking the Call of the Ancients, we're going to try to get our cooldown as low as you can. And this is also going to cover all your resists, which is nice. Going on to our boot. It's going to be the classic Warcry boot, with strength and movement speed, and remember to put the Death Devil size to make them bigger and do more damage. Going on to our weapons. First of all, chance for Death Devils to cast twice, you want to masterwork this as high as you can. Again, I've been extremely unlucky with it. It is what it is. We're gonna get them to 80 something, I believe. It's really important. We're gonna be running the Earthquakes aspect here to do more damage while we are on top of our Earthquakes, which I'm gonna cover in a second. And I forgot to mention, on our boots, we're gonna be running Whirlwind Grasping. I do this to group mobs up to be easier to kill. You could probably go with Concussive Strikes if you want. For our one-handed mace, we're gonna be running the Shout, the Fierce Winds one, to increase our Shout damage by scaling the size, right? Here, you're also gonna want Earthquake duration, ideally fully masterworked as well, because that's just gonna help you have a lot more Earthquakes out. And yes, it's better than chance to double Earthquakes because it's just a bigger roll, and it ends up being like 15% better, and it gets better as you get more Masterworks on it. One thing you can notice here is that I'm not running crit damage on the Tempers. That's because on one of the mace, we're running the close damage because we want to cap out the Earthquake node, and on the two-handed mace, you're running Berserking to cap out the Blood Rage node, right? For our sword, it's going to be Ramaladness, of course. Cool thing here that you need to watch out for, you want one with 0.49 or 0.5 effect. Even if it has like max resource GA with a bad roll, it's not worth it. It's better to just have one with a good roll and miss out on the GA. It is what it is. For our 200 sword, it's going to be Grandfather. Here, I have Masterwork on maximum resource, but I think all stats is better. But I don't have the I don't have the iron to spare right now, right? So it is what it is. For our first ring, it's of course going to be Starless, and we're going to be masterworking attack speed here. Ideally, you want a Starless with GA attack speed and crit chance, but that's hard to get. For our other ring, we're gonna get GA attack speed and crit chance. By the way, this might sound expensive, but it's really easy for you to get. You just gotta buy it from a Spiritborn, and it's gonna be 1 to 5 billion gold. It's not more expensive than that. The reason we're running Inner Calm here is because there's nothing better to scale Dust Devil's damage. And I don't think running a Dust Devil's aspect is good because you already spawn a lot of them that are just better. So, you know, it is what it is. For our amulets, some people might think that Lorcan's is better. It's not. The percent strength is too big right now. They buffed it almost doubled or something. It's really insane. Ideally, you want the amulet with strength, counter-offensive, pit fighter, or slaying strike, or max resource in that order. I got crit chance here because this was an earlier, you know, item that I still have not been able to swap out. But yeah, we're gonna be running elements here for that increased damage, and of course, Dust Devil sides. Mind you, a lot of the things that I have in this gear are not optimal. I'm still trying to swap to the endgame version of the build. It's just been really hard because the Barbarian item market has been really dry, sadly, because a lot of people are playing Spiritborn. But yeah, follow the build guide that's going to be linked down below, both max roll and mobilitics. You use whatever you prefer. Now, going on to our abilities. First of all, expertise, 200 axe, of course. Abilities, right. We're gonna start with 3 points into Whirlwind to get the bleeding, to proc Aragats. We're gonna get our Fury, you know, needs met here. We're gonna be running Pressure Point. This alone will be able to give you, vulnerable uptime because of all the lucky hit and attack speed you have. We're gonna be running Warpath as well because Rupture is a guaranteed overpower, and we're already running it for the 40% attack speed, so, you know, it's a decent thing to proc. We're gonna be running all the shouts, of course. Rowling Cry, we're gonna be running Strategic Rowling Cry for the Fortify. Sorry, I forgot this one. Challenging Shout, we're gonna be running it, and 1 point into it to get the 20% bonus life, which is really nice. War Cry, we're gonna be putting 5 points into this, together with the boots to get a lot of damage here. And we're gonna be running Enhanced for the Berserking, and Power War Cry for a bit of additional damage on AoE situation. Mind you, Battle Fervor procs from War Cry if you have the Fierce Winds aspect. A lot of people still don't know this. It's really powerful. It alone will meet our Berserking needs to get Berserking basically all the time, right? Again, Rupture for the attack speed and overpower procs, which procs Warpath and Decimator in the Paragon board. Guaranteed, right? Everything else is just nodes for damage, survivability and stuff, all the shouts nodes. You can see that in the build. Now, we're gonna got 5 points into Call of the Ancients. Actually, this year, you should not have a point here. I forgot that. You don't want a point here because it's CCing all your enemies, and it makes it super hard to actually group up enemies when the Ancients are out. You don't want that. You just want this if you're doing bosses. It helps out doing bosses. You're gonna have 3 points into Heavy Hitter to make those boys do extra damage. And by the way, the points here is not really for the damage scaling, it's more for the cooldown, because you want to pop them out as much as you can. Okay, passive, sadly you don't have a choice, it's unconstrained. Now, going on to the Paragon board. Right, in the beginning we're just gonna run Challenger. It's really good, it has 2 good multipliers against elites, which is what we care about anyway, and it gives us a lot of strength, which is lovely. Now, onto our second board, the Warbringer board. We're taking it for the maximum resource, and we're gonna be running the Territorial Glyph. The reason I'm running this is to cap out the Earthquake node. You could probably run Wrath for the stables to do more damage, but I think it's more worth to run this one, so your Earthquakes get the multiplier. I think it's better. Now, going on to our third board, which is gonna be the Force of Nature. I'm still not capped here, but that's because I need to get my glyphs fully upgraded. You're gonna be running Ambidextrous here for glyph. It's another really good multiplier, and it makes our Dust Devils and close damage buffs much higher, right? So, mind you, I have extra points here. That's because I'm missing resist. You normally don't need to take those. Going on to our fourth board, Decimator. Again, this is gonna be proc the vulnerable, just gonna be our lucky hits, and the overpower is gonna come from a Rupture, right? The glyphs we're gonna be running here is Rumble. This is a massive multiplier and just makes our Earthquakes do a bit more damage, but the 50% multiplier is what we're looking for here. On to our last board, but one of the most important, Blood Rage, which basically every Barbarian uses. You should be accustomed to this at this point. This is the reason we want to get 300 berserking damage to get that 30% multiplier there. The glyph we're going to be running here is going to be, of course, Twisted. This is massive multiplier for your Dust Devils and a ton of AVT damage, 1400. This is going to be higher because this is only 98. I think this goes up to 1450. It's a lot of damage, okay? Hey there. So, silly me, forgot to talk about the runes, one of the most important parts of the build, right? We're gonna be running Earthquakes, of course, with the Tech rune, and to proc it, we're gonna be running the Zol rune, which gives you the offering every time you proc another skill from another class, which is gonna be the What. The Necromancer is gonna give you a bit of damage reduction, and it's gonna execute enemies that are below 10%, not including bosses. And to proc it, we're gonna be running the back rune, which is why you need to keep running like your life depends on it. But yeah, back to the video. Anyway, lastly, there's a couple of things I want to mention. There's a couple of attack speed breakpoints that you need to be aware, because this game does not scale attack speed linearly. You have to attack between certain frames, and you know, you just have to get the breakpoints. You don't need to get the between it. It's just literally useless. For the breakpoints, I'm gonna link down below the max roll guide onto attack speed that's written by Ava. And the Barbarian part, I believe, was done mostly by Beat Dropper and Icy Troll, which are another really two cool Barbarians that you can find a lot of the times in the Barbarian in the Diablo 4 Discord in the Barbarian section. But yeah, I'm gonna have the breakpoints on screen, but I believe the one we're going for is 143.4. We don't go for the other one because it's a lot of sacrifices that I don't believe are worth it. But yeah, you can go for a lower one if you don't have the gear, but try to get to this top one as soon as you can. The builds that you see in the written guides, it's perfectly, it's like 0.2 more than you need. So make sure to get those masterworks done, right? Another thing I need to mention before we depart here is that one of our boys is a bit, you know, special. If you call him out and shout at him too fast, he might not want to work. This one, Talik here, he doesn't mind your shouting too much, but when you go like stabbing people, he doesn't like it too much. You need to give him time to come out, you know, get on the group. As you can see right now, let me get my Rupture up actually. If I summon him and Rupture, he's gonna just go AFK. See, look at him, he's AFK here. Right, you need to be careful of this. This is a bug. It's been here since at least season 4. Blizzard has not fixed it yet. It's a bit annoying, but it's the price you have to pay to play with the boys, right? The boys are worth it, believe me. So what you have to do is just call the Ancient and wait like 0.2 seconds and you can Rupture, and it's not gonna bug out. It can happen with shouts, it's a bit harder to proc, but with Rupture it happens a lot of the times, so be aware of that. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the build guide. Hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed the build. If you do and you plan to use the build, make sure to leave me a like, and for more Barbarian build guides and especially Whirlwind centric build guides, make sure to drop me a subscribe so you are notified of the next videos. You know, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and see you next time.